What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another day, another episode of the Daily Grind. I'm your host, 30 and Still Gaming, and on today's show, we're going to be talking about Amazon hails success of MMO Thrones and Liberty after 3 million players in a week. We're going to talk about Nintendo's Switch modder refuses to shut down and now takes to court against Nintendo without a lawyer. We're going to talk about Ubisoft. We're going to watch a video from Star Wars Theory, who talks about the Ubisoft blames fans for Star Wars Outlaws' failure and not the studio itself. We're going to talk a little bit about Red Dead Redemption. Just got announced coming to PC this month with Undead Nightmare, 4K support, and PC requirements revealed. We'll talk about that as well. And we're going to talk about Diablo. Diablo 4 global release times confirmed and also delayed. Obviously, I think they're working now, but we'll talk about that as well. Appreciate it very much. If you like what we do here, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. We just cover news stories, videos, have conversations, give you my thoughts and opinions on these articles and videos. And then we have a chat with conversation with chat. So if you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And if you'd like to be part of the community or be a member, hit that membership button or join button for $5 a month. All right, so we're doing a lot of stuff right now. So here's the gig that's happening so far. We have a show today, obviously, this morning. We're also having a show, I think so. We're going to play some more Thrones and Liberty tonight. But tomorrow is up in the air. Tomorrow is 100% up in the air. Give me 1 second. I got to fix my camera for a second. There we go. Not sure about a live stream tomorrow morning. That'll be like last second decision. I don't think the storm is supposed to hit us till afternoon, so I should be good. But tomorrow evening and Thursday morning is definitely off the table right now. Anything after the storm hits, not sure if we're going to have power, let alone, hopefully everyone's safe. But we don't know what's happen. So we have this morning, tonight, maybe tomorrow, and then after that, it's all up in the air. So, good morning. What's going on, Argus? What's going on, Kylo? Tremolo. Is it Tremolo? Tremolo. Good morning. I already said Argus. Z, what's going on? What's going on, Dolphin? All right, let's start off. Artemis, what's going on? Let's start off with Diablo. Okay. I find it funny because it never ceases to amaze me. It never ceases to amaze me that these companies are so large, so gigantic, okay, and yet they always have launch problems. If someone could just figure out the way of making a game work on day one, would be absolutely amazing, right? With no issues, which I don't know if it will ever happen, okay? So what's going around right now is that the Series S is to blame for the Diablo delay that happened, okay? But the funny part was it wasn't the Series S. It was 100% Battle.net, which was the problem for it, okay? So let's talk about this. This is from IGN. This is from, was it yesterday? Yeah. So Diablo 4 Vessel of Hatred global release times confirmed. Update launch delayed, okay? So the update, Blizzard announced a small delay for the launch of Vessels of Hatred due to technical issues, according to the blog post. Blizzard will also begin locking out new logins for Diablo 4. Players already logged in prior to the 4 p.m. PDT will still be in the game on patch 1.5.2, but they also should expect to lose connection to the game over time while the additional work to get simultaneously launched prepared. Now, the global director of Community of Diablo, Adam Fletcher, said that in hopes of the delay will only last a couple of hours at most, but we shall see. Okay. Diablo 4 expansion Vessel of Hatred goes live on October 7th, which was yesterday, in some regions of global release date of October 8th, where there's also release times across the globe. Vessel of Hatred Diablo 4's first expansion goes live as early as 4 p.m., okay, on October 7th for pre-downloads on Battle.net, and the console, Xbox, and PlayStation is already available. There's no pre-downloads for Diablo 4 on Steam. Steam users must wait to download the update, and with Vessels of Hatred goes live on 4 p.m. on October 7th. Now, it's worth noting that Diablo 4 players can pre-download the patch that contains Vessel of Hatred on the Seasons of Hatred Rising Season 6 content, regardless of whether or not they have bought the Vessel of Hatred. Blizzard recently released a patch note 2.0.1 and 2.0.2, and they only are a huge change for the game in significant ways. Okay, Vessel of Hatred headline, new features including new classes, new regions, and new story, and the new Spiritborn class is joined by the new region, okay, where they also research the mission destroyed for the primeval Mephisto. You can also recruit mercenaries to aid you in combat and fight together with the new PvE or co-op activity. Okay, so there's really no news story here. To me, it's just funny that no matter what these companies do, they can't get their stuff working on day one. But again, they tell you to preload and pre-download and pay early and do all these things, and yet they keep screwing up. And it's like, what do we do? Like, for people that, again, for this particular specific thing, it's not a new release. It's a new release for a DLC. The game's already out there. But how in the world does this keep happening, especially to companies like Blizzard, okay, for the size that they are? And there's millions of people playing this game for the last year and a half, and yet they still have issues. It's like someone forgets to, like, dot the 0.0 or slash at the end of the letting things go live. I don't understand it. I just don't understand it. But anyway, the new DLC is out, so those of you that were waiting for it, now you can start jumping in, and they need to get this out before the Path of Exile 2 comes out, because once that comes out, I think that Diablo 4 is going to lose a huge amount of player base to the Path of Exile 2, but we'll see what happens when that comes down the road. Kylo says, yeah, I think Diablo will have a mass exodus when Path of Exile drops. Yeah, for sure. Magic says, now people are trying to review bomb it over this, and they must never have played Destiny. Well, here's the thing, and we'll talk about this a little bit later, right? I'm okay, Dolphin. I hate the people that, not, and I'm not saying you because you're saying it. I'm talking about the media. I'm talking about the media that loves to say that such and such is review bombing this. The only way that we have a voice is unless everyone has a goddamn YouTube channel that can, like, speak out and say what they feel, or the review process. Now, unfortunately, because the industry doesn't give you a way to speak your mind or give you feedback, they have to review bomb something or give criticism when something's not working. And we'll talk about this, about Ubisoft, a little bit later, okay? It is okay for people to criticize and be upset about things they've paid their money for that it's not working when they say it's supposed to work. You know what I mean? Kyle says it's getting review bombed over a slight delay. I don't know if it's getting review bombed for that. I'm just saying what Dolphin's saying, that it's getting review bombed. Never played Destiny. I'm just saying people are allowed to complain about things. Crowded says, isn't Nintendo just wasting a lot of people's time with this lawsuit? Because even with the win, the guy probably doesn't even have anything for them to take. They still got to set a precedence, though, don't they, House? Give me 1 sec. I can turn on my fan. Yeah, this whole thing of, just like there's review bombing, there's review fluffing, I guess you want to call it, right? Where people, for every, like, zeros and ones, there's nines and tens. So that's okay, right? You're allowed to fluff a thing, but you can't criticize it. What's going on, Waterbear? Right now, it's a gorgeous day. Right now, Water, I wish I could see it, but I have wood on my windows, and I can't see a goddamn thing. It's super dark in the house without lights on. We have a lot of windows in our house, and it's dark as fuck right now. But outside, I was just outside because I had to take care of a couple of things. We have a flood problem on the side of our house. It's a long story. I'll tell you in 3 seconds. So on the road, they put a curb. Okay, and the curb, they only goes up to a certain point because they haven't finished the curb yet. So all the water runs down the main street and then bears off to the right towards our house, and all the water that comes from the road and from other people across the street downhill comes over to our property now and floods our left side, which then comes into our back porch, which I've been talking about for weeks now, like flooding big time. We're talking 8 inches, 10 inches underwater in the back. And so this morning we had to grab a shit ton of dirt with the tractor, and we poured it on the side of the house and then graded it, so when the water comes up, it'll rise up, but then it'll roll back down, so it doesn't affect the house. So that's what I was doing this morning. So because the city fucked up, we gotta take the brunt of the force of everyone's water. Right now I think it's a 4 right now, but it's supposed to strengthen again. They can tell us what it is. Just hopefully that it slows down not slows down in speed wise, like actual speed of the winds slow down, and it goes down to like a 3 or 2 when it hits, but we'll see. We've been asking for about 2 months for them to finish the thing that they did out in the street, Argus, and they haven't done it. The city fucked up. Don't worry. If something happens, we have plenty of video evidence and pictures of what they did and didn't come out to fix it. So, well, we should be okay because we got plenty of evidence that they didn't finish the job they were supposed to do, and they just put it on the tail end. So, they were supposed to go all the way down the street, and they stopped for whatever reason. Apparently, GameStop has to stay open during a hurricane. I'm like, seriously, they're risking their own life. They have to stay open. Who the fuck's going to go out to... You want me to be allowed to be on the road? I mean, you can. You'll be a fucking idiot. First of all, Dustin, the hurricane's hitting us in the middle of the night. It's like, which is the worst, by the way. Let me just tell you. Okay. It starts at like 8 p.m. and it's going throughout the middle of the night to the morning. GameStop's not open those times. So, I don't know where you're getting your info from. As of right now, the hurricane hits at like 8 o'clock at night. So they could stay open. It's 8 o'clock on the West Coast. And there's no way in hell there's a GameStop location over by Tampa that's staying open during that. We went to a restaurant yesterday because we know we're going to be stuck in the house for the next couple days in this small town over here. We were the only people. They had like 15 employees. I was like, where is everybody? They're like, no one showed up today. So we were the only people in the place. Oh yeah, Artemis, it's ridiculous. Yeah, GameStop's an essential. You're like, you know what? There's 188 mile an hour winds out there in a Category 5 with tornadoes everywhere. You know what? I want to go see if they have the used copy of Marvel's Ultimate Alliance for the Xbox 360. All right, honey, I'll see you in a bit. All right, I'm just gonna go to GameStop, and Ted over there is holding it for me. I'm gonna go there and pick it up with no problem. Like, who? Like, who is staying open? Does GameStop know that there's digital downloads now? I'm pretty sure they do. I'm pretty sure they do. Like, are you open? Yeah? All right, great. I'm gonna ride my bike over there. I'm about 5 miles away. I'll be there in just a little bit. Like, what are they doing over there? Fucking GameStop staying open. Yeah, you got the kayak. You're like, I'm right outside. Are you still playing it, Sarge? You're addicted, aren't you? You're addicted. I like it. I like Throne and Liberty. But at the same time, if I had to rank the Amazon MMOs so far that I played, and I haven't put enough time into Throne and Liberty. But as of right now, just in the amount of same time that I put in originally for New World and Lost Ark and now Thrones and Liberty, I would have to say that New World is my favorite, Lost Ark is my second favorite, and then this one. This one feels more mobile game-ish than Lost Ark did. And that's not a smack in the face. Like, I don't like it. I'm enjoying Thrones and Liberty because I'm starting to understand, like, the combos and, like, what order to put them in and, like, upgrading your gear and all that stuff. There's just a lot of freaking menu systems, man. There's UI on top of UI on top of UI on top of menus and different things are popping up. And here, check this, go here, level up your skill here, go check this out, level up your armor, go up. It's like, can you ease it? Can you ease it in? Can you ease it in, please? Yeah, Alterm was saying that yesterday, Waterbear. It was supposed to be a mobile game. It was a sequel to the Lineage before and made changes. Yeah, like I said, it's visually beautiful, let me tell you. It runs really well. Runs really, really well. What's max level? Eclipse. What's max level of Thrones and Liberty? I saw level 50 yesterday. I don't know if that's max or not. It is 50? Okay. Yeah, Sarge, they're 100% convoluted. As we were talking last night, like, you go level up a piece of gear, you need to go kill things, and then you get these glow books or glow stone or whatever they're fucking called. Okay, and there's smaller bits and bigger bits, and how much you want to put towards it, and it's like you have a certain chance of getting the roll or whatever, and level up until you want to get to the next level or do individual. It's like, why does it have to be so convoluted? Why? Just say it costs 2 of these to level up to the next level. And then as it gets higher, maybe it's 2.5 or 3 or whatever the fuck it is, right? Why does it have to be so convoluted? But we know why. It's a free-to-play game. And the grind, you can start seeing the grind a little bit while you're playing. You're like, okay, I got to do this because then you have to get a certain amount of greens to then take those to convert them to blues. Then you need a certain amount of blues to get up to the next level. And you have to keep making your gear. And you want to make your gear as high as possible so you can farm as fast as possible. And if you farm fast as possible, or just pay for the gear, right? Or just pay for the gear. Although, overall, like, let me tell you something. Everyone in the MMO is hot. Everyone's hot. Male, female, right? They're gorgeous, right? Every girl in this game is smoking hot. Right? Every guy in this game is, like, smoking hot, right? The gear looks badass. The world looks badass, okay? Just everything about it. We played an event last night after the stream ended. Okay, me and Sarge were playing the wolf hunting mission, and people were just, it was like a 17 or 20 minute event that was going on. People just running. There was so many people playing the game. I was like, holy Christ, there's a lot of people in this event. I like the events. I like the open world events that were happening. Yeah, there's no cave S's inside of Thrones and Liberty. I gotta put more time into it, Argus. I'm not giving shit to it. Obviously, it's very convoluted, and I understand why it's convoluted, but the fact that it's convoluted is the problem. They didn't have to make it so, and it was. I was like, what does this remind me of? And it reminds me of Lost Ark. Yeah, I like it so far, Mo. I'm probably going to play a little bit. I'm probably going to play a little bit more tonight. And I'll be honest, as long as I don't lose power over the storm, I'll probably play a little bit. But Mike, don't you want representation? I did. Did you see my character that I made last night? Here, let me bring up my character that I made last night. Okay. Did you see my character last night? Like, it's me. I worked on it for about 3 seconds. And it's me. Okay. Let me see if I can get you a screenshot. Well, that's too early. Let me get one later in the game. Oh, now I'm wearing. Okay, hold on a second. I mean, I don't know if you could tell, but that's me. I mean, I'm wearing a hat, but just a longer beard. But that's me. I feel represented. I feel represented. Right, there was a girl in the beginning that we were talking to. Miranda? What was her name? Marissa? Trying to fast forward. I don't know what mission we went to go in. Let me see. That's the tower mission. Oh, that's the book that we had to do. So we had to see her. We had to go get a book there, so it has to be back here. Altern says, it's not hard to create your character, 30. You just need 3 things. White, bald, and a huge beard. That's right. Right? And I feel represented. That's how easy it is to make someone that looks like me. That's right, Altern. Right? You don't have to put a lot of work into it. I mean, even her, she looks good looking, right? She's a good looking. What's going on, Jones? We'll find it. We'll find it. There she is. I don't know why it's pixelated right here for you guys, but anyway, right? Like every character, there was another blacksmith, Rachel. She's smoking hot. These developers know what they're doing, right? These developers know what they're doing. Yeah, no, the customization in this game is actually really good. There's a lot. I mean, you could spend hours if you really wanted to like fine tune it. Like yesterday, somebody literally created the very first person I saw when I got into the world made The Witcher, like to the T. I was just like, oh, that's Geralt. That's amazing. Oh my god, it's like a doppelganger. Yeah, it's super hard to make a character look like me. You can't. You can actually take a picture and yeah, I tried it. It was an error for the longest time. I was like, fuck it, I'm done. Sarge says, no, you can't. I tried for 30 minutes, it wouldn't load. Yep, same issue, Sarge. Same issue. All right, let's talk about the next story, since we're talking about Thrones and Liberty. And that's not the story. That's the story. You guys like what we do here? We do this Monday through Thursday. Why is my... There we go. We do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning until noon Eastern. We just read stories, have conversations, get you through a couple hours of your day by talking to chat, having a good time. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. All right. So Amazon hails success of another MMO, Thrones of Liberty, after 3 million players in a week. Now, Thrones of Liberty is a free-to-play, massively multiplayer online role-playing game developed by NCSoft and published by Amazon Games. It also has been more than 3 million players in just a week. Now, I know a lot of people are wondering, like, 3 million? That doesn't sound like all these other places sold like this many and this many. And, you know, just remember, Concord only had 25,000. Just remember that. Originally billed as a lineage sequel, okay, to Thrones and Liberty is an MMO with PvE, PvP set in dynamic, seamless world and suffered numerous delays over the course of development cycle spanning several years. Throne and Liberty finally launched on October 1st across PC, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and soon proved to hit on Steam and an impressive player concurrent peak of 336,300. That's enough to make Thrones and Liberty one of the most played games on Valve's platform right now. Either Sony or Microsoft make player numbers public. Okay. Amazon added Thrones and Liberty players had amassed 24 million hours in the game with more than 11 million hours watched on Twitch. Bringing Throne and Liberty to players around the world is also a huge shared undertaking by our team and our friends at NCSoft. And we're so pleased to see the results as players join the game, said Christopher Hartman, VP of Amazon Games. We're only getting started, and we have a series of updates planned, including our first castle siege coming soon. Thrones and Liberty early performance is all more than impressive in the light of its mixed review rating on Steam. The most of the negative reviews about server issues and typical monetization to get you these sorts of free-to-play MMOs. IGN's impressions of Thrones and Liberty during a beta said that the game is fun, but doesn't do enough to stand out. Okay, for Amazon Games, Throne and Liberty success comes in a continued support of its own developer MMO New World and Smilegate's action role-playing game Lost Ark, which also was published in 2022. Amazon is also publishing Crystal Dynamics' next Tomb Raider game and also has a Lord of the Rings MMORPG in the works amongst other projects. In August, Hartman told IGN that Lord of the Rings MMO was still in early, and the next Tomb Raider is a huge, huge task. Okay, so as I was playing this yesterday, I was like, I'll be honest, I was very confused on what was going on. I'm glad I played it with chat, and chat told me, hey, you got to do this, go add your skills, go put this in, right? I liked all that stuff that they were doing because it helped me a little bit, but I have to say the onboard for a lot of these MMOs is pretty, this was almost as confusing because it was throwing so much at you in the early stages of this game. And I get it. Just take your time and read or whatnot. But for the average goer that's like, hey, you know what? I've never played an MMO before. I'm gonna go in and start playing this. It was overwhelming for the majority of the population. And I think that's a problem. Not only with this game, this was a problem with Warframe back in the day. Warframe was so much stuff thrown at you. You're like, what is it? Was like hitting the wall and then going up instead of like a gradual, like, let's teach you what's going on here. That's what it feels like there. Riska25 says, hey, 20 months, awesome. I've been loving Throne and Liberty. I've been playing nonstop. Thank you so much for the 20 months, man. Appreciate that very much. Thank you for the support. I'm telling you, Ron, Amazon's slowly becoming a major player in gaming. What they're doing is that they just keep putting MMOs out. So you might like New World. You might like Lost Ark. You might like Throne and Liberty. It doesn't matter. Amazon's just trying to get the MMO clientele. They know it's a huge clientele. They know there's a huge bunch of people that love MMOs. And right now they have 3 MMOs. out in one company publishing one company publishing 3 MMOs, right? Just Hilly says 9 months. Why does that time period send chills down my spine? Thank you very much, Hilly, for the 9-month support. Appreciate you very much. Round of applause for both of you guys for continuing support. Appreciate that. Much appreciated. Yeah, I like it. Last night as I was playing, it hit me around 2.5, 3 hours in. I was like, I like this. I don't like it as much as New World. I was thinking about it after I logged off yesterday, right? For some reason, I like a lot of other stuff in New World more than this. But then again, I've only put about 4.5 hours into Thrones and Liberty. Okay, I have 100 hours in New World, completely different. So I'm trying to look at it in a fair basis of when I was playing New World, did I like it the first 4 hours? I did. I like it about the same right now. So I'm going to put more time into Thrones and Liberty. I'm going to see if I like it more or less. But right now, as it stands with the early game, trying to understand what's going on inside this game, I like New World, Lost Ark, and then this one's the third one out of the 3 that Amazon's publishing here. Which one I like the most, right? So we'll see. I did like the event that we played last night. I do like that you don't need a horse, right? You're already a mount. I do like the different variations of gameplay that you have. I like the way that you can do the combinations between the 2 weapons. Isn't that too much, though? 3 MMOs? Why are you trying to saturate the market? I don't think they're trying to saturate the market, Sarge. You got to remember, New World came out 3 years ago. Okay, Lost Ark came out 2 years ago or 1 year ago, and then now you have this one. So they're just trying to cover all their bases, right? The people that might have left New World that didn't come back, or maybe they're going to come back now, maybe the New World wasn't for them. Maybe they like Lost Ark. Maybe they don't like Lost Ark. Maybe they'll like this, right? So I don't think they're saturating the market at all. I don't think they need what World of Warcraft needs of like 14 million people playing at one time. I think they're okay with the 30,000, 100,000. Argus says, well, I think they know that they can't get everyone with an MMO. So they're trying to space out and see what works, and the people in the other companies haven't seen or willing to provide to. Right. I agree 100%, Argus. I think they're just putting it out there, and they're just trying to get the MMO clientele. Not all MMO clientele on one game. They're trying to spread it out and be like, all right, well, if you don't like this one, maybe you'll like this one. If you notice, all of their games sort of around the same, not really Lost Ark. Well, Lost Ark is like pirate themed, right? New World, Spanish Inquisition type pirate, also pirate theme. This one, sort of like medieval fantasy type of stuff. Lord of the Rings, same. They're all in the fantasy space. Not one of them is in like the sci-fi genre in any way, shape, or form. So apparently they know that their clientele likes this type of era or armor design. Do you know what I mean? Because they all have the same amount of look to it, I would say. I liked Lost Ark. Lost Ark was really fun. We put a lot of time into Lost Ark. Actually, you know what? Let me look at what I got for Lost Ark. Lost Ark was on Steam, right? Yeah. Let me check what we got on Steam here. Lost Ark, we put 164.9 hours in. Okay. New World, I have 80 hours on Steam, and I have another 23 hours on console. Okay. And then for the public test servers, I have another 30 hours for the test realm. Okay. So I have 150 hours, 160 hours into New World as well. Argus says, and the console space doesn't have a lot of MMOs that are relevant. it's a good time to be one of the testing of the waters in gardening support. Yeah. Yep. Z says, yeah, 30. I think shooting crabs on the beach would fit the cyberpunk or space MMO very, very well. Hilly says, don't Amazon have Lord of the Rings? Yeah, in the article it said they have Lord of the Rings. It's a couple years out, though, still in the works. It also had a game like a development. I would really want to know what works in the MMO space and doesn't, because I imagine the license costs a lot. Well, Amazon owns the licensing for Lord of the Rings. That's why they're making the what's it called? Look, Bezos, I don't think cares. I'll be honest, Hilly. He's making a giant clock in Texas that's in a mountain that only rings like once a decade or some shit. So I don't think Bezos cares about the IP of Lord of the Rings. He's just like, yeah, whatever. I want Lord of the Rings. Make it happen. But yeah, they have Rings of Power. So I'm assuming they while they have Rings of Power license, that they were like, hey, you know what? Let's make a Lord of the Rings MMO. I played the old Lord of the Rings MMO a long time ago. Oh, no, you're good. You're good, Haley. I literally just said it a couple minutes ago. Have you guys seen that clock? Have you guys seen the clock or heard of the clock that he's building? Let me bring it up for a second. All right. Jeff Bezos, okay? Lex Luthor himself, okay? Jeff Bezos spent $42 million to build a massive clock that ticks just once a year for the next 10,000 years. But why? But why? Right. Invested $42 million in monumental project in a clock designed to last for 10,000 years, an extraordinary clock under construction inside a mountain in West Texas, according to Fox News. Okay? And just to put it in perspective, this is, okay, the clock will feature a 5-room size anniversary chamber, each marking significant milestones. The first is the 10th, the second one is the 100th, and the third is the 1,000th, and the fourth is 10,000th year anniversary. The chamber are designed for future generations to fill the continuing legacy of the clock. A spokesperson for the Long Now Foundation said the completion date has not been set yet. Because the clock will be in the remote Sierra Mountains of Texas, visitors will need to take a significant hike to reach it, an experience designed to provoke compilation and reflection. Bezos is known for immense wealth, luxurious lifestyles, which also include ownership of a massive 417-foot yacht worth approximately $500 million, a support yacht valued at $75 million, right? A support yacht, you know, the escape boat, $75 million. His real estate portfolio further exemplifies extravagance, featuring a $79 million mansion in Florida's billionaire bunker, and a $68 million home near, along with the other lavish properties like a 9-acre Beverly Hills mansion purchased for $165 million. Yeah, fantastic. He's got so much stuff. Yeah, so he's building a clock, a $42 million clock that only dings 4 times in its life. I don't think he really cares about the licensing for Lord of the Rings. 30, did you play the old MMO? I did. Dolphin's like, yes! 30 NSG rabbit hole. Yeah, I love going on these little adventures with you guys. Right? You bring up something in conversation, be like, hey, now you know. Right? Now you've learned something. If it's to any value of you, I have no idea, but now you could be at work and go, did you know this motherfucker, Jeff Bezos, is building a clock? $42 million clock that only dings 4 times in 10,000 years. Hilly says, my theory is the clock story is a cover story. That dude is building a time machine. Maybe where he's building the clock is the center of the universe. Who knows? Is there a picture of it? No, they haven't built it yet. What's going on, Buckalorian? I love how you said, imagine being the guy that forgets to wind it one day. I would hope that it would do it itself, right? I would hope it's like the one that on your wrist when it moves or something. Maybe you don't have to wind it. Maybe it's self-winding. Maybe he'll build a robot that does it. Maybe he'll build a robot that comes out once a day and just goes. Right? Maybe. Who knows? You just pay a guy. What do you do? I watch the clock. You watch a clock? No, I watch the clock. It'll never ring in my lifetime. Sarge says, hey, look at that. The card I thought I canceled is still paying you. You're welcome. Well, thank you very much for the 20-month support. Hold on. The 20-month support that you didn't cancel your card. I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you. Voltorn says, if the clock inside the mountain would it be a cover to the Fallout vaults? Would he create the first vault in real life? Maybe. Who knows? Maybe that's where he's going to put his head when he's passing. He's like, yeah, I want my body frozen inside the clock, and I want to be brought back 1,000 years from now. Who knows what he's building over there? Who knows? Morning, Wonder Rose. Look, I'm just trying to, make enough money so I can upgrade stuff for my stream. This fucker's spending $42 million building a pointless clock in the middle of a desert. Amazing. Amazing. Come on, Ward. Good morning. Like, what? Sir, the finances are down for our company. And it says here that you're building a clock in the middle of a desert in Texas. That's right. Should we be spending $42 million? Do you think we should spend more? I need a tax write-off. Someone might outbid him and make a $43 million clock in another pointless place in the North Pole or something. I mean, imagine the contractor for this. Guy approaches you. He's like, how you doing? Jeff Bezos. He's like, nice to meet you. What can I do for you? I would like to build a clock. Okay. I want to build the world's largest clock, and I want to put it in the middle of the desert. Okay. And I only want it to ring 4 times a year. And the contractor's like, uh-huh. I'm listening. I want it to be the biggest clock in the world, like a cuckoo clock. Okay, and it's only going to ring on the 10th year, the 100th year, the 1,000th year, and the 10,000th year. And I'll give you $42 million. He's like, sold. Just sign this dotted line right here. We'll put the plans together. He's like, fantastic. Thanks for your work. Then he goes back to his wife, not Bezos, the contractor, and says, this crazy son of a bitch just came into our store today. We're stopping all projects, and we're just working on this clock for the next couple years. He paid us $42 million in cash up front to build a clock in the middle of a desert in a mountain. Chris says, just curious, I wonder if Bezos somewhat participates in any charity organizations and donates his money. They all do. I believe Bezos, if I'm not mistaken, Bezos, Zuckerberg, and a couple other people, I think are when they pass or whatever, or they take a certain amount of money and throw it towards something. I'm not mistaken. I might be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure a couple of the billionaire club said when they die or something, a portion of their stuff goes towards charity, if I'm not mistaken. But who knows? Then some oil-bearing guy in Dubai is like, did you hear? Jeff Bezos is building a clock in the middle of a desert and only rings 4 times a year. And they're like, we've got to build something bigger. Let's get a clock in Dubai in the middle of a desert, and let's let it only ring 3 times a year. And they're like, we can spend double that. $84 million. It's too cheap. Let's build an island shaped as a clock with a clock on there. Like, there's fucking homeless people places. And look, I'm not saying these rich guys have to pay for these things, but it's just kind of crazy what they build, isn't it? I don't think it's his responsibility because he makes billions of dollars that he has to save the rest of humanity. I'm just saying, $42 million clock that rings 4 times a year, or 4 times in its existence, you could use your money a little bit better. Dustin says you're right, 30. Most of it goes to their kids too. There's some of them that are not even giving it to their kids because there's certain rich people out there that don't believe that their kids get anything. Like, they get enough to survive, like, obviously more than you'll ever need, okay? But they don't get their fortune. They don't get their fortune. Because they earned it, and they want them to earn it. Some of them. I'm not saying all of them. There are people out there like that. They're like, yeah, you're good. You have enough money to, like, survive if you're smart with your money, but I'm not giving you everything. Buckalorian says, I just think that that Bezos walks into a random Radio Shack asking a guy for the counter, asking what kind of clocks they have. He walks in, he's like, what's that? What is that? Is that a cuckoo clock? Is that a Tag Heuer watch? Can I have that? And they're like, yeah, that'll cost you $100. He's like, $100? Seems a little pricey for a Radio Shack watch. Jeff Bezos nickels and dimes people for regular watches, but he builds a $42 million clock in the middle of the desert. Eclipse says Jackie Chan did that. What, walked into a Radio Shack and asked for a watch, or didn't take his fortune and give it to his kids? Could be any of the conversations we're having. Let me see. Let's go down the rabbit hole. Let me check this. Let me see if this is it. Give her 2022. The top 25 philanthropist billionaires. Let me see. Yeah, Zuckerberg. This is from New York Times back in like 2015. Zuckerberg vows to donate 99% of his Facebook shares for charity. Obviously, I know it's his shares. And you guys were asking how much they give away. Let's see. Warren Buffett, lifetime giving $56.7 billion to people. His net worth is $131 billion. Bill Gates has given $42.5 billion. George Soros has given $21 billion. Michael Bloomberg has given $3 billion. $3 billion. Mackenzie Scott has given Mackenzie Scott donated $2.15 billion. Zuckerberg, lifetime giving of $4.5 billion. Jeff Bezos announced a creation of a $100 million Maui fund in 2023. Amazon founder lifetime giving of $3.33 billion. Right, so they're giving stuff away. They are helping, right? But those are all tax write-offs. We all know that, right? Buckalorian says, if I was Elon, I hype it up as the amazing clock. When you go there and look at it, it's just a Casio watch sitting on a rock in a cave. Oh, that'd be fucking amazing. That would be amazing. It's an art piece. It's literally one of those. It's one of those Casio watches that used to transform into the robot. You know what I'm talking about? Fuck, you make a. Yeah. This right here. This was, or it was quartz. It was a quartz watch. Sorry. We had these when we were kids. This bad boy right here. This bad boy right here used to turn into a robot. You make that. If I had Bezos money, I would make a life-size version of like Optimus Prime and Megatron in the middle of a desert battling. That's what I would do. Yeah, I would make the robots battle in the middle of the desert, and then I would take the spaceship and crash it into the mountain over there. That's what I would do if I had money like him. Yeah, why not? Why not? He wants to make a clock. I would like to make the reenactment of the battle of, of Transformers from the television show. Was the screen on the watch big enough to write? No, no, it wasn't a calculator. It was just a robot. You know they're making those, right, Dolphin? You want to go down a rabbit hole. The military is actually working. I just listened to an interview on Joe Rogan, and one of the military guys that used to work on the project, it's literally called the Iron Man Project. They are literally making exoskeleton suits that look like Iron Man that right now, it's like the plot point of Iron Man series, right? They're making Iron Man suits that are right now that are worn by people, but the end game is to make them autonomous. Here, this is the actual clip. Well, this is from 2 years ago. But I saw the clip like 3 weeks ago.
The Joe Rogan experience.
When I was working on the Iron Man project, what is the Iron Man project? It was the Iron Man project. What does that mean? So we're trying to build the suit. Really? We've been working on it for a long time. I didn't know about I was on the Iron Man project. What is the Iron Man project? It was the Iron Man project. What does that mean? So we're trying to build the suit. Really? We've been working on it for a long time. I didn't know about I was on the beginning of the project. It was called Carnivore at first and a few other names. But in the beginning, it was only a small handful of us working on it.
What are they using to make the body suit out of?
It's changed so much right now that it's all kinds of materials. I mean, titanium, carbon fiber, all the top stuff.
And is it supposed to be able to fly?
It's going to do a lot of stuff.
Does it have an exoskeleton, so it's stronger?
Yeah, it's exo, yeah. And it's much stronger. You can carry, 1,000 pounds. You can do a lot.
I've
all the
seen
guns,
that stuff. That stuff's wild.
So we're getting there, but if you think about that kind of a suit, that exoskeleton, how are you going to move that exoskeleton, those people? So if you had a squad, let's just say you had 12 dudes in those exoskeletons, what airplane are you going to use?
Right. Think about that, right? What would you do to defend against this if you had just a small elite force of guys looking like Iron Man? What would you do? If it can fly like a jet, right? If it's Iron Man. Like it's Iron Man. You had 12 of these guys. Trained military killers.
what Humvees, what vehicles, how you going to get these guys around, what boats.
Right,
Like
how heavy are those things?
It changes everything.
Right.
Oh, they're 1,000 pounds. Yeah.
Jesus
they're huge.
Christ. So you can only get like a couple of those on a plane.
Yeah, maybe 4. I don't know.
Ugh.
But that's one of the issues that we're running into is the fact that if we start going in this direction, we start going to exoskeletons. We have to change everything else.
That makes sense.
So, and when we were doing it, it was like the long pole in the tent for the, and I was on these think tanks, and I was always like the innovator SEAL. I was a weird SEAL. You already know that, I guess.
Well, I guess.
But
we'll get to that part.
I was the techie part. So I was very technical, and I was working a lot of the national laboratories.
Mm-hmm.
So all the places that we built, the Manhattan Project, we still have all those facilities all around. And so we still use them, we work with them, and we try to push the envelope for military and civilian use. So there's a lot of things that I was part, innovator, inventor of stuff that's gone to the civilian world. And the Iron Man project was a really cool one.
And what are they powering it with?
That's the problem. Was
Nuclear. They're powering it with nuclear.
the long pole in a tent. I kept talking to them, and I was working with all the national labs, Pacific Northwest, and all those guys. And nuclear battery was pretty much the only way you can go. So it'd be a little battery about that big.
Bro,
So
I don't
we've
even
already
like
had
having a
those.
cell phone in my pocket.
But we've had those little nuclear batteries since the 50s, so it's no big deal.
But those nuclear batteries, like, how dangerous is it for a human being to be around it?
How dangerous it is to be in the military.
That's true too.
We jump out of airplanes at 30,000 feet.
But I would feel like if you wore that thing around, you got horrible bone cancer because of it.
Yeah, you get lead shielding and a bunch of other shielding and stuff.
Yeah, is that
But
what
the
they
thing
would
is,
do?
there's so much power and there's so much everything else. We were using the hypersonic flywheels and using all this other stuff. We were trying to do energy storage in all kinds of different ways.
Is there a way
recapture.
to shield it so that a person can be
yeah,
in direct
yeah.
contact and not receive?
You
Oh,
carry it around in a suitcase.
really?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah, there's a couple of them.
Isn't it funny? Like that's the one of the
Isn't that that's all? If you guys want to go see that, you can go listen to it. But like, it's out there, right? Have you guys seen the jetpack where the guy wears the jets on his arms? You've seen that before. We've shown it on the stream before, where they're like literally flying, flying around with his arms. Now, just think about that in smaller scale, where you can now do that around your ankles or on your back. Right, Chris. It's basically the U.S. wearing the power armor in Fallout. Yeah, I mean, it's cool stuff. I mean, you got to look at like a lot of movies and whatnot. Is art representing life, or does life represent the art, or both? Right? Do they see something in a movie and go, "We could build that in real life"? Yeah, let me see if I can find the. Yeah, like look at this. This shit is real. Right, this is not, obviously this is not the Iron Man suit. This is amazing. Oh, I see the strings. I see the strings attached to him. Sure, these guys could, but you also got to remember, this is the first steps of this, right? So you could get a small military force under radar into places that they wouldn't even know you're there. They would hear noises right now because of the jet engines, but this is the beginning of it. Right? If you're seeing this as a civilian, okay, they have better shit already. You see what I'm saying? If you're seeing this stuff as a civilian, there's plenty of shit that you haven't seen. Okay? Like, when I tell you, when I went to a conference in 2007, and I've seen 3D television sets with no glasses, crystal clear. I have yet to see that in real life to the public. Okay? I've seen holograms. Okay? Technology. Have yet to see it in the public to the scale that I've seen it. Okay? There's stuff out there that 99.9% of the population knows nothing about. Yeah, of course it's going to get more compact over time. Again, this is over a year ago, and this is what they showed us. Right? This is what they showed us. If they didn't want you seeing this, you wouldn't be able to see it. You know what I mean? Oh, I saw that, Kraken. The pizza delivery guy that delivers the pizza with the jetpack. Like, what? Yeah. Let me see if I can find that. I don't know if that's real or not, but let me see. I did see it on the... Yeah, this is it. I don't know if this is real or not. It seems pretty legit. I don't think this is practical, though. I think the gas alone would basically negate... No, it's the same jetpack. It's the exact same jetpack as the guy. Right? They've added a pizza... They added a Domino's pizza, like, so your shit doesn't get mixed up. They're like... How much does your pizza cost when it gets there? What's the delivery charge? $1,200 for your pizza. Hey guys, I got pizza here. Thanks. Like, can you imagine how? You're the guy that gets the pizza, and everyone's looking at you like, "What the fuck, dude? You just got pizza delivered to a middle of a field. You couldn't bring it yourself. You got a guy on a jetpack to deliver it to you. Hot and fresh. All right, thanks, guys. Destroyed everyone's tent trying to leave. Your bill, you're like, oh, the pizza's only $10. Oh, but the surcharge is $1,200. What a deal. What a deal. What a deal. Right, no traffic in the air. No, he didn't get a tip. He forgot the soda. Yeah, he forgot the soda, Buck. He doesn't get 20%. You guys want some pizza? Hold on, let me call the military. Yeah, Lieutenant. I would like 3 large pizzas delivered to the middle of the field. You got it, sir. Yeah. It's like, what is happening? We're delivering pizza with a $1 million jetpack on his back. I believe it drops in November, or is the end of this month? Is it? I think it's the 30th. I think it's the 30th. Let me see. This month, 31st. October 31st, Veilguard. Better use of my tax dollars, if you ask me. Absolutely. Get a whole vehicle flying. Oh, see, what is that noise? What is that noise? Did someone just sub? How come nothing popped up? Nothing popped up. Somebody sub? That's weird. Let me see. Nope, nothing showed up. I don't know what that's from. I have a question. Is Sparking Zero just PvP? Just straight up PvP, or can you play PvE against the bots and stuff? It has PvE. I like how Mo says, "Man, I have too much to play. Damn it! It's your own damn fault, Mo. It's because you're a Game Pass member. Yeah, you've done it to yourself." It has story? Okay. Got full story, and you can play against bots. Maybe I'll down the road I'll give it a shot. Third, I would say about this Iron Man thing. The Navy released some stuff on patents that they have, and one of them has a nuclear fusion reactor. It's heavily inspired by the Halo's pitch reactor. Interesting. Altern says, but don't worry, Mo. Avowed's delayed their game, so you had plenty of time to play those other games. That's right, in your backlog. Right. Z says, if you call Dragon Ball Z considered a storyline, the storyline is the storyline is literally just powering up for 20 hours straight. That's what it is. They have suit prototypes in the field by now. It might be something that the Halo, they also have a suit and AI augmented of your situation awareness, reflexes and stuff. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. You're actually going to see like Master Chief on the battlefield. That's like Iron Man. They can fly and land and have armor, and it's going to be nuts. The Tupac hologram was cool. That was like 10 years ago. Yeah, that's nothing. That's nothing, Dolphin. We're talking like super crystal clear, like hologram technology. Altered says you got to get like 20-minute mark. And then you spend 5 minutes screaming, powering up to give us more episodes and more money. DLC comes out. It just pauses. And you got to pay $5 for more DLC. And the DLC comes out. And he's like, ah! He just powers up. And then he explodes. And that's the end of the story. And you're like, man, that was awesome. It's so good. Just keep powering up. All right. Let's talk about Nintendo. Speaking of just powering up, Nintendo. You guys like what I do here? We just have a conversation. Break down some news stories, give you my thoughts and opinions on articles and videos, and be bullshit and keep you entertained for 2 hours throughout your day. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. All right, so Nintendo's Switch modder, who refused to shut down, now takes to court against Nintendo without a lawyer. He's his own lawyer. This guy's like, fuck you, Nintendo. Okay? So the alleged Nintendo Switch modder, who refused to shut down their business despite warning from Mario Maker Nintendo, now appears to be taking the Titan on in court without a lawyer. Okay, as a reporter, torrent freak Ryan Daly, as a alleged owner of the modding company Modded Hardware, has denied any wrongdoing in the court, even if his own operates his business at all. Okay, Nintendo filed a lawsuit against Modded Hardware in July, alleging it only offers a hardware and firmware to create the play pirated games, but also provides customers with copies of pirated Nintendo games. Now, Daly mostly responded to the lawyer's claims by saying denied, and otherwise claimed he lacked sufficient information to either admit or deny the allegations. Its defense includes fair use, invalid copyrights, a lack of standing fraudulent inducement, arbitration clause, and failure to state a claim and unjust enrichment. Okay. The lawsuit will now move forward to discover process where he likes the disposition requests of documents, and so on will take place. The Modded Hardware website has now been made private, with users requiring a password to access it. Nintendo taking legal action over copyright complaints isn't uncommon, but the allegations against Modded Hardware have sparked particular unusual saga. According to the lawsuit, Nintendo offered Daly an opportunity to walk away in March of 2024, and both parties at the time agreed that Modded Hardware business would stop, but it continued to operate as normal. And finally, warning in May of 2024 allegedly didn't go away. As a result, Nintendo filed a lawsuit with federal court in Seattle, Washington, seeking immediate closure of the Modded Hardware and damages. Typically, when a customer purchases a hacked console or circumvent the services, defended pre-installs on the console portfolio are ready to play pirated games, including some of the Nintendo's most popular titles such as Super Mario, Legends of Zelda, Metroid games, Nintendo's lawsuit claimed. Okay. Indeed, because pirated Nintendo Switch games cannot be used or created without the hacked console and related software and hardware. It's only because the product is serviced, such as those sold by defendant that is illegal marketplace distributing pirated games exists and thrives. The other lawsuit usually fall into the favor of Nintendo, that is when they also qualified lawyers working against them. A takedown request in May of 2024 saw as a target of 8,500 copies of Switch emulators, after the emulator itself was taken down 2 months prior. The initial lawsuit against creator Tropic Haze said that $70 game, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, Nintendo's premier video game release in 2023, has been pirated 1 million times before it was released. Okay. Other successful lawsuits include those against the game file sharing website, ROM Universe, which also ordered a paid $2.1 million in damages in Nintendo in 2021, while similar cases saw and received more than $12 million in damages in 2018. It also blocked GameCube and Wii emulator Dolphin from releasing on PC game platform Steam. The video game industry is also currently waiting bated breath for the results, perhaps the biggest of all of these lawsuits. However, Nintendo sued Palworld developer Pocket Pair in September, and the open-world survival game dubbed Pokemon with Guns by fans has long drained comparisons to the iconic Nintendo franchise, but taken several months for Nintendo to take action. This is going to be interesting to see what happens with this, right? When they lose 1 million, and again, we're just having a conversation here. Do you think the 1 million people that downloaded and played Zelda, do you think they were ever going to buy? Do you know what I mean? Do you think those people were ever going to buy the actual copy? I mean, perhaps, maybe a small percentage of those. But for the most part, those people probably weren't ever going to buy the game regardless. You know? So, it's interesting that I always see that they're like, well, a million, because they're on the fact of 1 million people pirated it, so that's 1 million sales we could have made. But you have to prove that those 1 million people were actually going to buy that game. The only reason they played the game is because they pirated it, right? So it's very interesting to see. Like, I was never going to see Borderlands the film, never, in theaters, ever. But because it came on YouTube and I was like, yeah, sure, I'll watch it, it's there. But I was never going to pay for it. So can you 100% without a doubt say that 1 million people that played it were going to buy it? I don't think you can. Roadkill says, "What's on, 30? I just watched Hellboy and Crooked Man. It's a pretty good movie. I liked it. Oh, I'll have to check it out. Rodriguez says they should never do a current console emulation to avoid the heat because that's everything else is in danger. Sure, but at the same time, again, I feel like those people weren't going to buy the game regardless. It'd be interesting to see what happens. Everything that they are currently selling is fair game, in my opinion. I enjoy Nintendo products. I do enjoy Nintendo's action. Our fun always come first for me. Just Hilly says, I don't know the ins and outs here. The only thing I do know is for sure that Nintendo has more lawyers than developers. Yeah, they definitely have more lawyers than developers. No, because if they would have bought it in the first place, not pirate it. Right, and that's my point, Altern. So I totally understand that they can say that 1 million copies were pirated. But you can't prove that those 1 million peoples that they lost sales because you don't know if those people are actually ever going to buy it. Rodriguez says some of them bought the game and decided to emulate it for better resolution or frame rate, but it's hard to know. See, I didn't even know that. So you're saying people bought it and then they pirated it to get better resolution because Nintendo doesn't give it to them. See, that's a whole nother section there, right? Because I also look at it this way. I've pirated stuff in the past, but then I've bought the thing afterwards because I use the pirated thing as, well, I like it, and because I like it, I'm going to purchase it. Okay? So, I don't know, man. This is going to be, obviously I understand 100% that the company has to do what it's doing. Right? It's protecting its IPs, it's protecting its business model because a sale's a sale, and they're all about the money, and I totally get that. Because if you put yourself in that position, if you are just an independent guy, fuck the big business, small business type of thing. If it's your thing, you make something. Okay, there was a conversation happening on mods with Juicehead on Twitter, okay, earlier, about Starfield with mods and the support and stuff like that. If you make something, okay, and you spend hundreds of hours, thousands of hours, millions of dollars, hundreds of dollars, whatever it is, small or big, you make something and then someone takes it from you, that's a shit move, right? And you as the business have to protect what you're doing because that's your business. So I totally get where Nintendo's coming from, but at the same time, I'll still stand where I say, where you can't prove that the people that bought or that pirated the game were going to buy your game in any way, shape, or form at all. Argus says, no, they are not going to buy it. Same reason I play games on Game Pass. There are games that did not and never was going to buy it either way. And I give a game a chance only because it's on Game Pass. That's another whole thing, but that's a thing on Xbox, right? But totally understand. It's almost like playing a demo, like I was just saying, Argus. Like you're playing a demo, and if you like it, then maybe you'll buy it, right? Or give them money or buy something else down the line. Robert Jones says, also, what % of the pirates bought it? Some that use emulators have moral code. But that's the thing you can't prove. Do you know what I'm saying, Jones? There's no way they can prove how many people bought it or didn't buy it. They just know 1 million people, pirated it. But you don't know out of the 1 million people that pirated it if any of those people bought it afterwards or stopped playing 3 seconds afterwards, right? 1 million people download it. Doesn't mean 1 million people played 100 hours of the game or beat the game. They're like, I'm not a big fan of this. I'm not going to play it. Perfect example. We BitTorrented last year, okay, the Transformers Fall of Cybertron, okay? It worked perfectly on my PC. Perfectly, okay? But I wanted to play it on my console. So I tried it out and said, you know what? I want to own this game. And then I went out, found a secondhand copy of it, by the way, meaning they already sold that. Someone sold it to the video game store, and then I bought it, so the video game company didn't get that. So did I pirate it? Did I pirate my copy of Transformers Fall of Cybertron because it was secondhand store? You see what I'm saying? There's a lot of blurry lines happening here of what's moral or not moral, because if I'm moral, I should have went to go find a brand new version of the game and purchased it, but they don't sell it anymore. They stopped supporting it, right? So I had to find it secondhand. Now, obviously, with this particular version, they downloaded Zelda, which is on current. Rodriguez even said it. Problem is with current day, you're pirating things that are current day. If it was a game in the past and you pirated it, I don't think there's a big problem. But because it's current day, potentially you're taking money out of their pockets. People who watch movies and TV shows illegally online are ever going to pay for the streaming service. I think some of them will. But for the most part, I wasn't going to purchase or buy or give anything to Borderlands. I watched that I watched it at 1.5 speed. I didn't even want to watch the fucking thing. But I did because of the memes that were happening from it. I would never going to watch it. If I'm interested in something, I'll go buy it. Which is another conversation we're going to have in just a second. Right? Argus says, nah, Nintendo goes after emulation and even ROM hacks on their games from all the way back to the beginning. Stuff they will never even support again. They dumped the game to PC using the cartridge. Argus says, yes, Mike, when you emulation these games, you can literally get better visuals and performances, even the mod games, they added content to them. See, I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that. Josilia says, I downloaded a movie I owned on DVD. This is technically stolen, but the truth is, I couldn't be bothered to go downstairs. That's even great. Be like, I own the movie, but I didn't really want to get up and go down the flight of stairs to grab it, then come back up the stairs. So it was just easier because of my internet speed. So I just, I just downloaded it. That's brilliant, Hilly. Right? How many people just had stairs in their house that didn't want to go get it? You could use that in the court of law. Well, I mean, I own the game. I could prove it to you. I own the game, but I downloaded it because I wanted. Now, there's another. What about if all the million people, but you guys are saying, what about if the million people that downloaded the game already owned the game because they wanted a better version of the game, which they didn't offer? Right? Argus says, I'm never going to stand on the side of the company with the stuff because it's awesome that ROM hacks and modern versions of the game players make are amazing and lead to a much more fun product to play. Dolphin says, the last few times I used Switch Emulator was a game that leaked early, and then I still bought it at release. But you still go down as an emulator hacker, Dolphin. Marcus also says, I have only emulated games that you can't buy or ain't supported anymore. I don't consider being able to buy from the individuals are still available. I mean, from the official company. I stopped when Netflix and Amazon Prime started. They gave me the service. BitTorrent did without hosting the data. PS5 Blow says, no lawyer, huh? Bold move, Con. Let's see how it plays out for him. Maybe he is a lawyer. Maybe he knows that no matter what they do, they have nothing on him. Who knows? Hilo says, same. I emulated a lot of games I own on disc. It's just easier since my PC already hooked up, unlike my GameCube. Plus, it runs and looks way better on the PC. See? Papa says, 30, I played Rogue Squadron 2 on disc and emulated it on my PC. I can download the mod that gives me the game better textures, etc. I'm also playing the game in 4K 60 instead of the GameCube native resolution. Yeah, but they don't offer that, right? And that's the whole thing. They don't offer that. So are you stealing money out of their pocket? No. You already own the game, and now you're downloading a BitTorrent that's in better format that they're not supporting. Kraken says, why are people so against emulation but see no problem with the secondhand stores selling old physical games 4 times the price? Right? And that's what I'm saying. Right? If you're buying a secondhand game, it's just like pirating a game. The company's not making money. Hence why they want to go digital, Kraken. Hence why they want to go digital so they can stop you from going where they can charge a game that's 5 years old the exact same price it was 5 years ago. This is exactly why the companies want to go digital. So they can hold all the control, and there is no secondhand stores, right? They don't want you buying the secondhand shops. They don't want you emulating the better versions of the game. They don't want you doing any of this stuff. They want everything in their own, in the grasp of their hands and tell you what they can or can't do with their stuff, right? They make the stuff, and if you could get it at 60 frames, they're only giving it you at 30. You already bought the $30. You already bought the 30 frames per second game, but now you're emulating and hacking the game off the internet to get 60 frames per second game, right? Better graphics, better whatever. Okay, is that stealing since they're not making it? I don't think so. Somebody took the time to take their game, rip it, make it better, and then post it out there for people that want to have better experiences that they're offering. Akuda Papa says, 30, I have a code. If I emulate it, I buy it. Only exception is NES, Super NES, because I can't find cartridges easy anymore for good price. Literally, I'm not paying $700 for a copy of a Gotcha Force on a GameCube. Right. Even though the secondhand and pirate are similar and completely different. Correct. They are completely different, but it's also the same exact thing. They're not making money off the people that are selling the game. So is that considered stealing? Is that considered pirating? Right? The companies know they can't do anything about that, Jones, hence why they want to go digital. Rodriguez says, like, for example, the only legal way to play God of War 2005 is using the cloud. If you can't stream it, you're screwed. Well, this goes into... Let me see. I kind of want to go into the next story, which is a video of Star Wars Theory talking about an article that came out when Give me 1 second, chat. Give me 1 second. All right, sorry about that. I see what you guys are saying. Tell you what you can't do and can do. Carlos says, I can understand the Switch emulators since you can still buy the stuff from Nintendo. But who's to say I didn't dump my own game into the PC and emulate my own copy? But older stuff. Come on, Nintendo. Right, that's why I think he's going to court, because I don't think they can prove what he's saying, like what they're saying. Without court is about 100%, right? You have to have 100% of it. If there's any doubt, then it's tossed out, right? You have to prove. And if you can't prove, like, you're like, oh yeah, 1 million people sold. Can you prove that those 1 million people didn't buy your game? All right, so we're gonna go over to this this video, Star Wars Theory, talking about Ubisoft blames fans. Now, Star Wars Outlaws failure. About Star Wars Outlaws failure. Okay, so let's watch this. We'll comment about this as well. Okay. If you guys don't know who Star Wars Theory, he doesn't need my help to promote his channel. Okay, this is Star Wars Theory. He's the largest Star Wars content creator on the platform. Very, very level-headed, like down to earth, even though as much as Paul Tassi and the rest of the internet like to think that this guy's a hater, this dude was the most positive person about Star Wars. It didn't matter what it was. He was just like, well, why don't you look at it from this perspective? And then everyone started shitting on him because, well, you know, reasons. So let's watch it, what he has to say about Ubisoft blames fans now for Star Wars Outlaws failure.
TheorySabers.com.
I think one of the most important things that we can do in today's world, as things continue to progress and get really strange with just your ability to critique something or have an opinion, is to constantly call out this very strange and weird behavior and make sure that it is known that this is not acceptable. We're going to
100%, right? I, myself, you, yourself, are allowed to criticize anything and everything, okay? If you like it, if you don't like it, if you're full of shit and you're trolling and you don't like something just because it's fun or whatever, you're allowed to do whatever, okay? That is the only way to tell the companies if you like it or don't like it, okay? You can't assume just because you make a product that you put the product out there and everyone's supposed to like it, right? Like, I go live every single day. Is everybody that pops on the internet be like, well, they got to hit the like button. They have to like me because I made the content. That is the most stupidest way to look at stuff, right? And that's what the businesses do. They're like, well, I made this game. You have to like it. Just shut up and play the game and don't complain about anything.
We're going to get into something today that I think really applies to Star Wars. I think it can shape Star Wars going forwards. Storytelling in general, movies today, games, books, whatever. And that is the fact that everybody should feel like they are allowed to have an opinion.
That's right. Everyone should have an opinion. He's absolutely 100% correct here. You're allowed to have your opinion.
Criticize something. If they don't like something, they're allowed to say that. And we're starting to live in this world now where it's actually wrong if you criticize anything. If it's not positive, you cannot speak it. You cannot say it because now, here's the logic in these people.
Right. If it's negative, you're not allowed to say anything about it. Look, as a person that owns a YouTube channel and runs a YouTube channel, if someone comes in and says something negative to me, I have every right to tear that person apart or not talk about it at all. Okay? I can pretend that when someone comes in and says, hey, Baldy, hey, old man, whatever, okay? And I can look at that and say, who the hell are you talking about? What are you saying? And I can respond back to that, or I can just ignore it, right? And as a business, you kind of want to ignore the bad apples that come in, but that's not what they do. They amplify it. They amplify it and say, because this person said something, that is the reason our product is bad. Not because it's actual bad. It's bad because those people are criticizing it and letting everyone else know that it's bad. No, they're saying it's bad because it's their opinion and they didn't like it. And because it is actually bad, that is why you're not making the money.
People, we're going to get to this in a minute. This is the monetization director at Ubisoft regarding Star Wars Outlaws or whatever else they got going on. And so heinous that, first of all, you cannot critique, you cannot judge anything anymore. But if you do, then keep in mind that you are solely responsible
That's right.
for the people who have worked on said project that you are critiquing, and therefore they will lose their livelihoods because you are critiquing their form of art.
Right. They worked 1,000 hours on the thing, and it comes down to me going, I don't like it. They fail, not because they have a bad product, not because it's not the best that they've done. They fail because a YouTuber says they don't like it.
Something they got paid to do by a head studio that's worth multi-billions of dollars, and you didn't like it. So therefore, if they lose their job because of your interaction or your vision of that project or media, then you're responsible for them losing their jobs. Let's get into this. So my boy...
Yeah, which is just idiotic, right? If here's a food analogy. If my steak comes out undercooked or overcooked, and I complain as the customer, and then the cook loses his job because he undercooked my food, is it my fault? Because I complained for the thing that I bought and paid for is not good, and other people also complained? It wasn't just one complaint. It was multiple people complaining that this cook is not cooking the food correctly. Right?
Boy, the Critical Drinker says something to this, and we're going to read what he says after this. So here's Stevie Chassard. I didn't know anything about him until...
Stevie Chassard, monetization director at Ubisoft.
Critical Drinker posted this just now. And by the way, lore content's coming back, so that's going to be good. But we're also going to be doing lots of these as well, because I feel like it's really important for us to call out a lot of this bullshit that's going on in society today, because it's just not okay. And frankly, I've had enough of it. So Stevie Chassard,
and that's another thing. People don't like Star Wars theory. Get how this works, right? You and I are not allowed to complain about something. Okay, because you are the problem. But then when other people don't like what Star Wars theory is doing, they complain about it and then want something done about it. Follow that again. If you and I have a complaint about a product, okay, we're supposed to shut up and say nothing. But the people that don't like what he's doing, they're allowed to complain and want to be heard. Man, that is weird, isn't it? Isn't it? I like Star Wars theory personally. This dude doesn't get mad ever. He's just, I'm getting more animated than he is of just replying of what he's saying, just reacting to what he's doing. He's just...
monetization director at Ubisoft, says, by the way, some backstory. Star Wars Outlaws completely tanked. It completely flopped.
Yeah. Facts. It flopped. Less than about 1 million copies sold. Okay, I played it. I enjoyed it. But the game was a year away from being complete.
And a lot of the people behind Ubisoft are blaming people online who have critiqued the game. I'm sure I'm one of them. And I have a lot to say to that. But let's go ahead and read what Mr. Chassard says regarding all of this critiquing and why you shouldn't do it. I rarely post on social media, but today I am sad. Ashamed and sad. The gaming industry is rough at the moment. We all know it. Yeah, why is it rough? Is it the consumers, or is it the people like you who are in charge?
It's rough because they're putting out broke, buggy, unfinished games that they fix 6, 12, 24 months down the line, but want your full price up front. That is the problem.
Charge of the multi-billion-dollar corporations who take on certain projects to make games. I've been playing games since 1993. I had the original NES. There's pictures of me as a kid with my diaper freaking playing goddamn video games. Anyways, you still have diapers at 3? I don't know.
You could have diapers at 3, but I don't think so. Maybe some kids do.
I probably did. But seeing how gamers react on social media, wishing ill fates to companies and people alike is sad. I agree on that. You never wish ill to people. A company, that's still not really my style. I would just say that they need to change course. But anyways, let's continue. And not only towards Ubisoft. Even though it is always the vocal minority that express themselves.
Is it the vocal minority? Because if it is the vocal minority, then what's the problem? If the vocal minority is the problem, then why even address it? That means the majority likes your product. But if that was the case, then the majority of the people would have bought your game. But the majority of the people didn't buy your game. Is that because they didn't buy it because of the minority or because of the majority? Which one is it, Stevie?
Themselves on social media. that's a double-edged sword. So if it's something that he's going for, then is it a vocal minority, or is that the majority?
Right.
It's like, are Acolyte fans the vocal minority, or are they the majority? We know it's the minority because the
Of course we do, because we're not retarded. We know it's the minority.
show didn't get renewed. Is that what they think?
I'm sorry. We know it's the majority that don't like it, not the minority.
Is that what people who like something think? There's so many issues with this guy's statements. Anyways, even though it is always the vocal minority that express themselves on social media, I was hurt. Hurt and ashamed to be a part of this community. Oh no. What is even more revolting is coming on LinkedIn.
Revolting. What even is more revolting is coming to LinkedIn and seeing the same comments from people within the industry.
And seeing the same comments from people within the industry. Oh, so they're eating themselves alive. So it's cannibalism. Within the gaming industry, there's people who are saying the same things as consumers. Kind of weird. It's almost like they're people and they want to enjoy product too. Or maybe they have more of a professional outlook on something since they're literally behind the veil making it all happen as well. On top of exposing yourself as clearly non-decent human being, you're affecting thousands of employees that are already...
So I'm an indecent person because I point out that your game is incomplete. I'm a bad person for letting people know that the game is not finished, broke, buggy, and it shouldn't get full price. I mean, hell, even Ubisoft didn't want your full price, hence why they gave it to you for $18. The only reason they gave it to you for $18 is because they know the game is not done.
Impacted by all the hate despite doing their best to deliver incredible experiences. To this I say, absolutely everybody who gets a job and is paid to do so did their job.
That's right. We say that all the time. All of you guys are always like, well, I'm here to support the devs. The devs already got supported. They got investors to get money, to take a budget to make the game. And then they made that game over the last 3 to 5 years. We all know it's 3. Okay, 3 years. They got a salary. They got paid weekly or monthly or bi-weekly or whatever. Okay, they made their money.
If the job was poor, then that's up to the studio to hire them or fire them. If the overall project was received poorly by the consumer, by the customer, which is what it was made for them to make money, you hope you make a good product.
That's right. You make the product, you make the game, you make the movie, you make the TV show, you make the soundtrack, you sell those said things, and if it's good and people like it, they will buy it. If it's bad and they don't like it, they will not buy it. We are not obligated to buy your stuff because you make it.
And the customer enjoys it and purchases it, and good word of mouth flows about your product, and more people will be like, all right, let me give this a shot. And not everyone's going to like it, but if most people are saying good things about it, then hey, great. Maybe you're going to get some returning customers, and new ones at that. But if the overall project and consensus is shit and not well received by the consumer, then is it our fault who have already paid them?
That's right.
Paid the company for this product and weren't happy with the results. No, that's on the freaking company.
That's the business. That's on the business, no longer on the customer. The business's job is to make the money, pay the people to make the game, put it out. If it's good, it'll make money. If it's not good, it will not make money. I know, business is crazy.
And the project management and whatever it was, in this case, Outlaws, which was a really trash game. Really lazy, really poor, really cookie cutter. Just a garbage game that was $160.
Woo! $160? Oh, he's in Canada. I was like, wait a minute.
Mind you, with a lot of glitches. Not even the gameplay was bad, just a lot of glitches and things that were not done and rushed out. And then asked a hefty freaking price tag on it too. Is it the consumer, I would say, that is affecting those jobs, affecting those workers who already got their money? They got paid, and so did the company who got paid from the...
Like, what's the difference, chat? What's the difference if you went to a store, a box store, and someone sold you something, whatever it is, a mouse, okay? You bought a mouse at the store, at Best Buy. You brought it home, you started using it, it didn't work. You tried everything, right? You changed the batteries. You did a whole bunch of stuff, right? It didn't work. You bring it back to Best Buy, and you're like, my mouse didn't work. I would like a refund. And they're like, what are you, racist? You're like, no, I bought this mouse, and I would just like to return it because it's not working. You're racist. You're a sexist. You don't like our stuff. You're a sexist, misogynistic person, and that's why we don't want your business anymore. You're like, but I just want my money back. See, that doesn't happen in the video game industry because the video game industry has put a 2-hour time limit, not a 14-day time limit on it. They put a 2-hour time limit on something. They're like, well, you play 2 hours. Sorry, bud. And sometimes you don't even get the 2 hours. When you buy it digitally, you're fucked. You get to buy it early and never ever return it. You're not allowed to criticize it. You're not allowed to do anything. If you don't like something, you're just sexist. You're just misogynistic, right? You're just a hateful person. How dare you purchase this game and not like it and then tell everybody about it? And now these developers are crying in a corner because you don't like the project. Wow. Okay. Am I going to buy your stuff next time? No. No, I'm not. I'm not going to buy your stuff next time because you told me that I wasn't allowed to criticize it. So then your next project that comes out, good luck to you. Good luck to you.
People who purchased it and gave a fair review on what they thought was either a good game or a bad game. And this is why we have Game of the Year, with whether it be Halo or...
No, every game's Game of the Year. Comes out, it's up there.
Elden Ring or Gears of War or whatever other game hits Game of the Year. Maybe some of those didn't even hit Game of the Year, but for me, they were amazing. God of War, for example, one of my favorites, and so on and so forth. It really comes down to numbers. If something is good, people will consume it. They'll pay for it.
That's right.
It's really that simple. If someone thinks something is good, they'll buy it. It's not rocket science.
Oh,
and that's
no,
why you have statistics and numbers.
It's like some mathematical equation that people are looking. They're like, why are people buying this game over my game? They're lost. They have no idea.
Really good. People are going to say, you know what? That YouTuber or that blogger or that LinkedIn post really said it was shit, so I am not going to buy it. They will do the due diligence. Believe me.
That's right. If I tell you, chat, how many times has this happened? I tell you I'm not interested in the game. What's the first thing you do? What's the first thing you do, okay, when I don't like a game? You're like, well, I like it, right? You do your research. You go find somebody else that's talking about the game that might like the game. And then if they're in line with you, you're like, well, I'm going to buy it because that's the type of game that I want to buy, right? You're going to do your due diligence to see if you like a game or not.
If anything, people talking about it are just doing more and more marketing, free marketing for the product for people to actually go and do their due diligence and check it out. Check out the trailers, check out the gameplay, check out the clips and the reels. And then, because Google works the way it works, their feed is going to be filled with tons more of that game or that product or whatever. And then they'll really be able to make even more of a thoughtful consensus about it and have an opinion. How can you wish a company to fail simply because they do not cater to you or that the product does not please you is beyond me. Well, yeah, that's how it works, man. If a product has a certain precedent.
If the product doesn't work, or if you don't like the product, you're allowed to say you don't like it. You're also allowed to say that you like it. Okay? We're all not going to be all in unity to be like, well, I like it, so you have to like it. No, we're all different people. We're all going to like something or not like something, right? I like sci-fi. You don't like sci-fi. I think the game's good. You think it's shit. This is life. But if the majority of the people don't think the game is good, then the majority of the people don't buy the game. And if the majority of the people don't buy the game, well, then your game fails. And if your game fails, well, then it's a failed product, regardless if the people, the minority, bought it and liked it. The majority didn't like it.
A Star Wars product, Star Wars game from LucasArts before us. And now we get something that's much less than that, something ill-received because it was just made poorly, with glitches, high price tag, and just a cookie-cutter game that was just junk, and nobody wanted it, not fun, boring, then is that our fault, the consumer? You know, that's your fault. That's you guys having a bad...
That's right. It's 100% their fault, not your fault, not my fault, that their game didn't sell well.
Vision, and not finishing a game properly. And then...
Because if a game can come out, if a game company can come out, like Black Myth Wukong, I didn't buy it, right? But 20 million people did. And if a company can blame the people for gaming a game to fail, then you have to make it succeed for them as well, right? The majority of the population like Black Myth Wukong, regardless if technically the large amount of people that bought it, there's 20 million people that bought Black Myth Wukong. There's still 47 million people, okay, that didn't purchase it on PlayStation or 1.2 billion people that didn't buy it on PC. So technically, the people that liked it are still the majority, or the minority, I'm sorry, of the bigger scale of people buying the game. But they made enough money where they're successful. Star Wars Outlaws did not.
And then asking an exorbitant amount of money for it as well. That's not the fault of the consumer.
Imagine paying $160 and you fall through the floor.
That's you guys, Ubisoft, or whatever company, Lucasfilm. If you're making a product that people don't like The Acolyte, for example, it's not because of YouTubers saying,
Lockstep. Thank you, Trip.
hey, this is shit. All the stats are out there, man. The show can be watched. All the clips and stuff are out there for people to check out for themselves. Believe me, if something is talked about enough and controversial enough, everyone is going to go and check it out and see it, and therefore make their own decision. And if it's really that bad, people are not going to support it. It's that simple. We're all on the same boat. Yeah, absolutely. We all want good products, and companies want to be rich for making a good product. That's how it works. Please, please, please stop spreading hate. So this is
before I comment there. FM Maloney says, "I've been playing Outlaws via Ubisoft Plus that it bought via award points. I enjoy it. It's repetitive but challenging. It's not great, but it's also like the ability to change the story. I also like the game, but I also saw the problems with the game. The AI is idiotic. The difficulty level for me wasn't very hard. Okay, the stealth was absolute garbage. Okay, like this game needed more time, but I still enjoyed what they built. I still like what Massive built of the Star Wars world. I thought it was really detailed and cool, and I loved the areas. But I didn't like the gameplay of the game, right? He also says, it's nothing new. This generation of business strategy is we deserve praise for just showing up, just putting it out. Right. Well, I showed up, guys. I showed up. How come I'm not successful? It's like, that's not how it works, right? That's not how it works.
What I have a problem with. I agree. I don't like people who spread hate. However, I believe that hate here, and in a lot of cases today when it comes to critiquing media of any kind, is now misconstrued and confused with having an opinion. And I think that is just so ridiculous.
It is.
I think it's just not okay. I don't think it's acceptable. And I think we really need to nip this in the butt before this starts to become a bigger and bigger thing, where toxic positivity is running rampant in the streets, where everyone has a gag order unless they blindly freaking love.
That's right. If you blindly love something, you're okay to speak, right? But if you have anything negative to say, you know what you are.
Of a piece of shit product and ask for more. Because you know what's going to happen? All your favorite things are going to no longer be made
That's
the
right.
way that you loved them.
That's right.
The way that made them
They're gonna make them more
successful
shitty
in the first place. They're going to be perverted, changed.
Yep.
And these big studio heads are going to be like, you know what? No one's saying anything bad. So how about
Right.
we go ahead?
Right. So if no one has any criticism whatsoever, they're like, well, they must have liked it. Let's give them more of this. And the people that, and this is where I defend, right? You changed my story of a thing that I loved, and you're changing it for your story, and I don't like it. I'm letting you know I don't like where you're going with this. And if you go this direction, I'm not supporting your game. I'm not supporting your movie. I'm not supporting your book. I'm not supporting it. I'm not gatekeeping in any way, shape, or form. They put out a product in the beginning. We like that product. Someone else took that product over and is now trying to change what made it successful. If you go that well, by all means, go ahead. But then don't be mad when the fan base that was there leaves because you've changed it for the better. Okay?
Go ahead and we make more. However, even then, numbers still don't lie. So whether people are completely silent or they're vocal about a product or game, which I would say really does more marketing for something than not, I believe that the numbers will always speak true. So if a company looks at something and says, you know what, like Outlaws, for example, which is being reported now to have sold only 1 million copies, people are going to be like, why would we ever go ahead and make this again? This lost us. I think that lost them, like $200 million?
Yep.
Or something along those lines.
Along the lines of that.
I mean, the game was $160 3 days before launch. They play it 3 days early, I should say. And then now it's, I think, like $59.99. So people
Jesus. It's like $110 off where he is.
We're saying. I mean, that's a huge drop. That is a massive drop. Look at GTA. It's still holding its figure. It's still holding its value pretty good. It's because the game was...
Because Grand Theft Auto is good. People like it. That's why people buy it. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. They bought it on the old system, the new system, and probably the PC.
Extremely expensive, and they put it in the right spot. They put it in the right place where the game actually turned out to be timeless and good. I mean, that game is super old now, GTA 5, and people are still playing it like crazy, and they're anticipating GTA 6, which I can't wait.
You know how many people hate Fortnite? How many people in this chat alone hate Fortnite? Just hate it. You don't like it. You don't like the BR. You don't like Fortnite, right? You think because you hate it that how come it's not successful? Or how come it's successful? How come if you, the people that criticized Fortnite, that don't play Fortnite, right? If you don't play it, you don't like it, you hate it. You hate Epic, you hate Fortnite, you never touch it, you never do anything. But yet, for some strange reason, you've worded it out loud and said that you don't like it. But for some strange reason, they've made $1 trillion. Amazing. Rodriguez says, hate's a strong word. I just don't like it. But you know what I'm saying, Rodriguez, right? How many people criticize it or don't like it, but yet it's successful?
4. It's going to be amazing. So while I believe, yeah, we shouldn't be negative people, when it comes to judging a product or a meal or a food or a restaurant or piece of art, that is literally your duty as a
That's right, as a
being,
customer,
is to judge that thing and to be like, well, you know what?
I'll tell you what, if you don't want to be judged, then make sure you don't make a product or do anything that sells anything to anybody, right? Make sure you're a hermit under a bridge, and make sure you never charge anybody to go over your bridge, because they're going to be like, what? You're charging 25 cents? That's too much. They're going to criticize you. Make sure you don't ever interact with anybody if you don't want to be criticized.
I don't like this. Okay, why don't you like it? Well, for this, this, and that reason. Okay, sure, I can see that, but you know what? I think differently, and I enjoyed it. And that doesn't mean you have to agree with them. That just means that you have the right to give your take and give your opinion on everything. You don't got to shut your mouth. You don't got to just be like, yeah, Star Wars Outlaws, was a bunch of really talented people that came together and worked on something. Sure, but that doesn't mean anything, clearly, because the game was not well received. And if it was an amazing game, it would have sold millions and millions and millions of copies, just like Jedi Survivor, Jedi Fallen Order, which sold, I think it was, let's see here, by the end of January 2020, which was 4 years ago.
Yeah, I'll give you a good example of a product that is either successful or not successful, and it has nothing to do with something you buy. It's something that you support or watch. Okay, if you're a sports fan and you happen to live in a city of a team like I'll use my team, the Mets. Okay, the New York Mets, from like 1986 to like 2000, they were like terrible. They're still terrible at points in my life. Okay, they're doing good this year. Okay, but a billionaire, okay, puts a team together. He invests his money and pays for these players to come onto the team. Okay, it's the owner's responsibility to put the best team together with the money that he has, to then try to fill the seats. Okay, if the team is good, it will fill the seats. Okay, but if the team is bad, the seat's empty. If the seats are empty, it's less money coming in. Now, the boss has already paid the salaries to these players in somewhere shape of contracts or whatnot. They're getting paid regardless, okay, if there's people in the seats or not. Okay, obviously, if it's a team that's competitive and they're in the playoffs and people come to the seats, they buy more concessions, they do for parking, they make more money, they make tons and tons of money. Okay, because that is what they're doing. They're taking the money, investing it in their developers, in this case, the athletes on the field. If the team comes together and gels together very well, they make a good product, they win. And if they win, it fills the seats. It gets customers into the ecosystem of what they're trying to sell. Okay, there's no difference between the publisher developer paying for the players/developers to make the product, which is the team, to come together to make the stuff. Make a product, sell a product. Get criticized, you still have your team, you just got to do better next season. You got to do better next time you make your next piece of software.
They already sold 8 million copies. Over 10 million units were sold by the end of March 2022. So within 2 months, they sold 2 million copies. By June 2021, the game had reached 2021 had 20 million players, man. Holy moly, I didn't know it was that high, okay? I mean, that's much more than I originally thought. But yeah, look, let's read what Critical Drinker had to say about this comment. He said, people like you made it your mission to insult, vilify, and berate your own audience purely to own the chuds. And now you're surprised when those same people laugh at your inevitable failure.
It's
Why?
so
What else
tone
did you
deaf.
expect? You know, I agree with that, but I would also add to it, even the people that he owned the chuds, like make fun of his very customer base, if the game was good, people would still buy it. I'd say, yeah, it would like definitely take a hit. Some people would be like, nah, screw you.
Like, instead of this marketing director or microtransaction director at Ubisoft making this tweet, he should have went back into the business and said, what can we do to make it better? No. Instead, he wants to ask for people, stop being mean. Stop criticizing us. We're working hard. Welcome to the world. Welcome to the world.
I ain't supporting your game, even if it's amazing. But people would still buy it if it was a great game because they just want to play a good game at the end of the day. They're like, whatever, yeah, this guy said what he said, but I want to play this game. And the reason they didn't is not because of anything other than the game not being good. For example, if someone is like Amanda Stenberg, for her to call people who didn't like The Acolyte the literal minority of like racist comments,
right? The minority of the people that didn't like the show, that maybe said racist things that no one's ever shown proof of, by the way.
And horrible comments that she got, which I do not agree with, I don't condone. For her to call every single person who didn't like The Acolyte, like me, for example, and to say you're racist, you're a bigot, you're alt-right, this and that. I mean, I take offense to that, man. I'm just a Star Wars fan and I want a good thing. Don't call me those things. Don't put me in some box just because I didn't like your shit product. I didn't like your shitty show, which was half-baked and not true to George Lucas Star Wars. So I take great offense to that. I think that's ridiculous, especially someone in that field to say such a thing about her own consumers, her own customer. Like, think about that. Like, well, if you don't like my hamburger at my restaurant, then you're a racist.
Right. What I just said before, right? I'm returning this mouse. You don't like the mouse? You're racist. You're sexist. You're misogynistic. But your mouse is broke. Your mouse is a piece of shit. Right? There's no difference in what they're trying to do, but for some reason it's different for software.
Like, get real, man. This kind of behavior, I think, needs to stop, and I love calling it out every single time that somebody does something like this. So I think you should as well. Always, always be respectful, because the moment you are rude, they just harp on that. First of all, it's not classy, and it takes away from your argument. And then they also just have something to say to detract from any of the actual points that you're making. So, just always be James Bond about it. Be like, you know what? Have your points, have your opinions, and give your reasons why.
Right.
And leave it at that. Leave that on the table, just like the numbers are on the table. And the numbers don't lie, and neither do the facts. Love you guys. Thanks for listening to what I had to say. Hope you have a great day. May the Force be with you always.
There you go. Star Wars Theory. Check him out. If you like Star Wars, right? If you like Star Wars content, he's coming out with a short film again. I think Vader Episode 2, and he talks about Star Wars, right? He's the biggest Star Wars creator on the platform. Look, I always think it's funny that all of these companies, you have to look at it as this is a marketing ploy. They use this to get people upset. They use this to get people, oh, well, if we keep calling them racist, they're going to keep talking about it. And congratulations, you're absolutely right. But the difference is, not only are we criticizing the game that you're working on now, but we're criticizing your stupid takes. Because every time someone someone dislikes something, we're not sexist, we're not racist, we're not misogynistic, okay? We just don't like your product. It doesn't mean we hate your product. We just look at your product and say, well, you sold us a product that's broke, buggy, and unfinished, and I'm vocalizing that, telling you that don't buy this. If you like your money, don't buy this right now. Wait for it to go on sale. If you don't like it, pay the $18 for the month, play it for the month, and then put it down, okay? Don't purchase this thing because it is a bad game at this point in time. But here's the wonderful part about video games. You don't have to buy a brand new game on day one. You can wait a month, right? You can wait a year. It's still going to be there. Right? Guys, him, go give it a like. Go give it a thumbs up. Go give it a subscribe. Star Wars Theory. It should be in the description down below for his channel. Yeah, He's the most level-headed, like, chill dude. But when you go after him, he stays calm and he's brutal. Okay? People love to hate. People, I don't like him because he's got 3.5 million. He can sway the people. His community is so toxic. As the people that don't like what they do, so they do it back to them. It's amazing, the hypocrisy. Yeah, ask Paul Tassi. Noob Tech Guy says, Halo Infinite has the best battle pass system I've ever seen. I really like it. Yeah, because it doesn't expire, right? They respect your time, and they're not trying to do FOMO, where when you purchase something there, they're like, well, you only have 10 days left to finish it. Hurry up and finish it, right? And if you don't finish it, you have to pay $10 per level. They're like, just take your time. Thanks for playing. Z says, let's be honest. Our community needs to speak on their mind better. They scream about issues that make us look annoying. Sure, but that's everywhere, right? Right? That's everywhere. It's any community. People nitpick and say certain things, right? They test the waters. They see, all right, well, what gets traction? Hilly says, any company that's doing this is stupid. Calling a fan base any ism won't work. Even if they are correct, they are not. And the millions of sexists, etc., still not going to buy it. Just make good stuff. That's it, Hilly. And that's always what it's been about on my channel, right? Make a game, sell a game. Make a product, put the product out, and make it. Okay? Right? Look, I look at my content in the exact same way anything else, right? I like what I'm doing, but the majority of the people don't even know I exist. Or don't like my content, right? Because I'll get like 5 new subscribers and then I lose 3, right? Because of one video I make or one topic I do, they don't like it. But I'm putting a product out, and if people like it, they'll watch it. And if they don't like it, they won't watch it. I don't sit here and go, oh, the reason I'm not have 1 million people watching me is because they're all sexist and racists. Right? It's like, Pixel Slapper says, green t-shirt, you're obviously an Xbox. That's right. Right. And the blue shirt that I wore the other day, I'm obviously a PlayStation guy. And the red shirt I wore the other day before that, I'm obviously a Nintendo guy. Yeah. Travis says, it's so crazy. If you make a good product, nobody bitches. The extension, they also would want to make a good product. Yeah, just make a good product. Right? It happens all the time with people that write books. Right? My wife reads a book a day. She'll read like a whole series throughout the week, right? They have like 7-book series. She'll start reading it and go, oh, book 1's really good. Book 2's really good. Oh, I didn't like book 3. I don't know. Maybe if I go look at the reviews, maybe the author is calling them racist bitches. That they don't like their book. I don't know. Maybe that's happening. I don't know. I feel like it's only happening in the video game space. I really do. Or, I'm sorry, the entertainment space as far as like TV shows, video games, and movies. Right? It's like red letter media, right? Don't ask questions, just watch next product, right? Or whatever the quote is, right? Just consume. Don't ask questions. Right? I was watching a conversation about the 30 frames, 60 frames thing again. It's happening because certain games come out and people drag something through the the water because it's 30 frames. But then another game comes out that people like. That's an older game that comes out and it's 30 frames. And everyone's like, woo, I love this game. This game is great. And it's like, keep the same energy, right? If this at 30 frames is not good, then this game is not good at 30 frames. Just keep the same energy. Endless trash. Red Letter Media. I'm supposed to say no, you're annoying? To who? You? Let me see what's going on here. Let's see if there's any news stories that popped up on Twitter while we were live. Pixel says, I can pedal my bicycle at many revolutions. Shh. Ubisoft Publisher Sale goes on through October 17th. Save up to 85% off on games and DLCs on the Epic Game Store. Ubisoft's in trouble. Ubisoft is in trouble. Right. We go back and forth like a 10-year-old. You're annoying. He's touching me, your mom. And that's the end of the conversation. Harry Potter, remaster of Lego Harry Potter collection, live today on the PlayStation 5. If there's an Epic sale, there's a Steam sale. I think the Steam sale was a couple of weeks ago for Ubisoft, Jones, if I'm not mistaken. And let me see. There's a publisher sale. Yeah, no Ubisoft on Steam that I can find. There was a sale a couple of weeks ago for Ubisoft though on Steam. I have a question. If you play Throne and Liberty on PC, is it cross progression? Like, can I play on PC and then go over to console, or you can't do that? Well, they did have a sale just a couple of weeks ago. Ubisoft had a sale on Xbox like a month ago. Right? They had the sale on Xbox over the summer for Ubisoft games. Then it went to Steam, and now it's on Epic. They usually space them out like that just in case you're like, oh, well, I want it on Xbox, or I want it on PlayStation. Oh, I want it on Steam. It's cross-play, but not cross-progression. So if I create a character over there, it won't be on my Xbox later. It's stuck over there. Okay. Wayfinder leaves early access on October 21st. Let's read this a little bit, because I know a couple of you guys are playing Wayfinder, or some of you wanted to play Wayfinder. So Wayfinder, we're truly overwhelmed by the love and support of the community has shown us in the game. It's been amazing to see how many people so many people playing and enjoying it. Please continue to share with your friends. If you haven't already, let us leave us a review. It means the world to us. No, it means that's misspelled. It is word. It means the word and does help. Oh, no, okay, it is. It means the word. I think it's world, though. World to and does help the game grow. But all right. On the next big milestone, on 1.0 launch of October 21st, we're also focusing right now on polishing the release. We have one more small hotfix plan between now and then. There's also any further major updates after or before 1.0. The 1.0 release is packed with content, which is known you've been eagerly waiting for. So let's take a look at the 1.0, what it'll bring. It brings a brand new Wayfinder. It brings a new open world area, critical role support pack. It's got cross-play. 2 brands, new lost zones, 21 new armor sets for the 7 current Wayfinders, 6 brand new weapons, perform optimization, new mounts, skins, housing items, and more. Okay, we've been reading through all the feedback, and while it's hyper focused on delivering 1.0 and nailing the launch, any suggestions that changes will come on Quality of Life 3, which is planned to post-launch. No exact timing yet. It's just what wanted to set the expectations so you feel ignored besides the content outlined above. You also get fixes and refinements that also align with us, some of our suggestions. There you go. On October 21st, they're fixing the game for official launch, which I don't think comes out for Xbox until later. It's supposed to come out for Xbox. I don't know if it's coming out for Xbox anytime soon, though. It'll be on PC and PlayStation like it is already, but official release now. Now, I have a question. It's not a free-to-play game anymore, right? It's a paid, fully paid, like $30 or $40 game. Can I read it like you're sleeping? I mean, that would cost you extra. like a ASMR. $25 on PC. There you go. We also have Red Dead Redemption. Red Dead Redemption coming to PC this month with the Undead Nightmare 4K support and PC requirements revealed. It only took them 14 years, guys. It only took them 14 years to get it on PC. Amazing. Oh, here's a story. I'll just read the article heading for you. I'm going to put this in Discord for maybe on Thursday's show if we have a Thursday podcast this week. Paradox, who makes City Skylines, you always love to see this, right? They hype up the game. They tell you the game's coming out. They promote the game. They say, here it is, and then it bombs because it's broke, buggy, and unfinished. And they say City Skylines 2 launched too early, says Paradox Deputy CEO. But early access wouldn't have been the solution. A dev team that thinks they're going to have a nicer ride on an early access game, I think, fooled themselves. Okay? Did the CEO just throw the developers underneath the bus? Right? Did he just throw them underneath the bus? This is what I talk about all the time. These developers release a game before it's ready to be finished. For what reason? For what reason? Halo could have waited 1 extra year and it would have been better. Diablo could have waited 18 months and it would have been better. Okay? No Man's Sky could have waited a couple more years. It would have been better. You would have never had the No Man's Sky moment. It wouldn't be a thing. It would just be a game launching and being done. Cyberpunk 2077 could have just waited another 6, 8, 10 months to release and they wouldn't have had the problems that they had. Battlefield 2042 wouldn't have had the issues. Fallout 76 wouldn't have the issues. Marvel's Avengers wouldn't have the issues. Suicide Squad wouldn't have the issues. Skull and Bones. Like, they just keep going and going, right? They put these games out too early and then fix them over the next 12, 18, 24 months. And this is why a game takes 3 to 5 years to make, but they put it out at 3 and fix it for the next 2. Right, Jones? It's probably the same CEO that said, yeah, I need you to release it now. So stupid. I like how the lesson learned is that we should probably not launch that early. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. It says it on the article right here. Look. Quote, the lesson learned is that we should probably not launch that early. Insert Justin Timberlake's, meme. What are we talking about? So stupid, man. And instead of just working and like just normally working on the game, making sure the game works and then putting it out, instead now their name is tarnished, and then you're working furiously, okay, trying to fix the game just to get it to the point where it should have been at launch. It's like they're saying the silent part out loud now. They're admitting, yeah, we just released it too early. Like all those other games I named. They're like, oh yeah, we'll just say it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. What is this error that's happening in Diablo right now? Diablo 4, warning. Warning, your character has not finished being saved by the current game, or your account is otherwise busy. Please wait a few minutes so we can safely log your account out. Please try again. Gaming in 2024. Smell that? I'm on a farm and I don't smell shit. Okay? I'm on a farm and I don't smell shit. Okay? But I smell shit here. Pixel says, I've never played Diablo. Do I win? You do. I'll give you 5 points for today, which makes you the leader. Robert Jones says, and then they can consumers' expectations unrealistic when it comes to fixes. Yeah, because they're waiting for the game to be done. They're like, oh, that bug's still broke. Right? As much fun as I'm having in Fallout 76, that game is 5 years later, and it's in a much better spot. No shit, right? They only worked on it for 13 months when they released it, and now it's been 5 years, so it's been 6 years in development, and now it's in a better spot, and it's still broken buggy sometimes when they put a patch in. Yeah, Pixel, you can do anything you want. I can't see you, so. Sorry. I just saw one of those stupid, like, videos that people do stupid shit. I can't show it, so. Oh, that's a cool cosplay thing that this guy did. So, check this out. This guy did a cosplay of Venom, right? So like Venom's coming out of his shoulder. So obviously this is a fake arm going into his jacket, and he's got his. That's cool. That's a cool cosplay. That's cool. Oh, did you see what what's it called? Microsoft is taking Grounded, right? And they're removing having a Microsoft account to play Grounded on PC, where Sony's doing the opposite, where you need to have a Sony account to play any of their games on PC, which I think is funny. Microsoft's like, let's take that away. We don't need them to sign in. Unless you want to play crossplay. If you play crossplay with people, then you have to sign into your Microsoft account. But if you just want to play the game, you don't need a Microsoft account to play the game. How dare you, Pixel, criticize the man's costume? You're not allowed to do that. You're sexist. You're racist. How dare you, sir? You can't criticize anybody. Oh, is this the poor man's hold on a second. Is this the poor man's Optimus Prime? I can't afford the $750 version of they created a, I don't know how much this is. Normally $51. It's $21 right now. Transformers Optimus Prime. It's an RC car that transforms. I can't afford the $1,000 Optimus Prime that's like a robot and starts doing all the stuff. But I can afford the normally $51. You can get this cool toy for just $21. Where do I sign? At Walmart right now. I might do it. I might do it. I'm going to go out in the middle of the storm. Hope Walmart's open during the hurricane. I need my Optimus Prime. Oh, they got a couple. Hold on a second. They got a couple of Optimus Primes here. What we got here? We got Optimus Prime. We got the Transformers movie masterpiece system, 12-inch. That looks good. Okay. We've got Transformers Studio Series Voyager class. That's $29. That's cool. How big is that? It's 6.5-inch action figure. Then we got the War of Cybertron Siege Voyager class. Okay, that's a cool one too. And then we have... I don't like this one. Transformer 1 movie Power Flip Optimus Prime. Wait a minute. This is not what he looked like in the movie. I just watched the movie. He did not look like this in the film. I guess he did. I don't remember him looking like this. Hold on a second. Oh, I guess he did. His robot form looked better. I thought it was like this. I don't remember him looking like this at the end. Walmart's an essential business. I'm going to knock on the door outside. 180-mile-an-hour winds. I'm going to be like, open up. I need my Optimus Prime. I'll just wait for a piece of wood to fly and break the glass, and then I'll just walk in. Stop the hate, you robot racist. I'm a robotist. Robotist? That doesn't work. Yeah. Robust? Oh, hold on a second. My wife set a timer for some reason. That just reminded you of a advertisement in the 70s. Oh, it's an Amazon Prime going on. Ah, that's why a lot of this stuff is happening. All right, it's 12:30. Tonight, it's going to be up in the air. I'm not sure what we're doing yet. We'll probably play some more Throne and Liberty tonight. If so, come on by, hang out with us as we play more of Throne and Liberty. If not, tomorrow morning is going to be up in the air as well, because I don't know what time the actual storm's hitting us, if it's in the morning, if it's in the afternoon where it starts. So don't know about the streams for tomorrow and Thursday. Thursday morning stream, probably not. We might, as long as we have power and whatnot, we might have a podcast, GXG, on Thursday night. But as of right now, there will be no GXG, because I don't know what's happening with Sarge down in South. I don't know what's happening here until after the storm passes. So we might have to do some stuff. We might have no power whatsoever. Or we have power. I'll have power because I have a generator, but not enough to where I can stream and do all this stuff, right? So appreciate you guys coming out. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. We do appreciate you very much for hanging out with us. So enjoy the rest of your day, evening, or afternoon, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.